next two exercises, we work with what's sometimes called the microcosmic orbit. This is the set of channels that go up the front and up the back. Or in Chinese medicine, it's really up the back and down the front. But in Qigong, we usually talk about them both going up from the pelvic floor, the area of the pelvic floor, up to the top of the head. So actually the meridian that goes up the back is called the due meridian or the governing meridian. That goes to the top of the palate, the upper palate in the mouth. And the Ren meridian or conception meridian that comes up the center goes up. And by touching the tongue to the roof of the mouth, you bring those two together and create a circuit. So with this exercise, the tongue is gently at the roof of the mouth. Don't worry about it too much. It's going to happen because that's the nature of the movement. It's what's always going on in your body. This orbit, this circulation of energy is going on all the time. So all we're doing here is tuning into it in a more profound way. We're going to be lifting up, basically gathering energy from the earth to begin, and lifting the arms up, and then letting the arms come down. So in the first set, we are imagining or visualizing the energy coming up through the three levels of the torso. The pelvic area, the mid area, and the chest area. And then lifting up, and we're going to let it sprinkle down the back. And the fingertips move in order to really get the energy and the chi to extend to the tips. So these next two are very similar and relatively direct. So we begin, and you'll find that your inhalation goes with the lifting of the arms, and the exhalation goes with the dropping of the arms. This is almost always the case in Qigong. Nothing you have to create or make happen. It just happens as the rib cage opens and closes. So we're going to start again with the feet about shoulder width apart. And it's great periodically just to check in. The feet are shoulder width apart, the knees are over the feet. The hips are dropped down. The back of the neck is lengthened to really open up the spine and create space the entire length of the spine. All right, so with this exercise, the hands come together, they cross, inhale, 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 reach up, and let the fingertips move. And remember your thumbs as well. So at this point, my arms are over my head, and they're connecting to the top of the head. As I drop my arms, the energy runs down the length of the spine. For the second part of this exercise, the energy is brought up the back and down the front. So it's almost, you want to think of as though you're putting a coat on for this part of the exercise, where we lift the energy up the due meridian and down the Ren meridian, or up the governing vessel and down the Ren, the conception vessel. All right, so here we go. Lifting the chi up the back, And it can be in 3 stages. At this point, the hands are over the top of the head, starting to pour the energy down the center. These two work really as a pair, and you can do them separate from the overall Qigong exercises that we're doing in this set. They really belong together, and you can do them just those two. Now, one thing to think about is that this part of the exercise really lifts up to the center line. This lifts up to the back line, the center front or the center back. This tends to be a little bit more healing, lifting the energy up to the midline in the front and down the back. I can emphasize the invigorating aspect of it by going slower while the hands go up and a little faster down. So really enjoying lifting the energy up and just dropping the hands down. Or I can calm myself more by lifting up faster and really luxuriating and the hands going down. So lifting up relatively quickly and then really lifting, dropping the arms down. Feeling that connection. Moving down my whole body, connecting to the ground. That's a way to calm the body down more. So again, let's bring our attention into the whole body again to find out the effect of this exercise. And bringing your attention to your whole body. And then the lower half of the body. And the upper half of the body. The front half of the body. The back half of the body. The left side of the body. And the right side of the body. The inside of the body. And the outside of the body. And again, the whole body. The final part of this Qigong set releases any tensions that were held or developed during the course of the Qigong set. What we've been doing is bringing energy into the body, cultivating it, refining it, circulating the Qi. And this last part releases any tension throughout the channels so that that newfound energy can extend to the whole length of the body. So, first we start with the hands, and we're going to do this for about 24 times, just shaking the hands, and you shake from the center. Just as though your arms are wet dish rags. And then we do the legs. We do one at a time, or if that's too difficult, you can do alternating. The arms stay extended, the leg is picked up, and then we throw out the leg. Now, one thing to think about is you don't want to hyperextend the knee, that will damage the knee, and you don't want to hit the ground, that'll hurt. So you're lifting the foot and throwing the foot out. And you're really just trying to throw something off your foot. You got some mud on your feet, or that sort of thing. So with this part of the exercise, you're just throwing the mud off. If you want to do it the alternative way, you can just alternate. And that will feel good too. Either way is fine. So then we've thrown off all the muck and matter, and we have this center of chi, this ocean of good energy that gets to move through the body. So again, we end tuning in to the whole body, then the lower half of the body, and the upper half of the body. The left side of the body. The right side of the body. The front of the body. The back of the body. The inside of the body. The outside of the body. And the whole body. That practice of tuning in is great to do as you're learning these different segments of this Qigong form. So it teaches you a little bit about what's happening in your body. You want to just do that with a completely non-judgmental attitude. And just notice, just appreciate. Usually when you do the form as a whole, you don't want to stop in between each piece, but instead do that tuning in at the very beginning of the form and at the very end of the form. And you'll notice a big change. Enjoy it.